Any footage that I use in this video belongs completely to the people behind the film. I'm saying that now, so I don't get copyrighted. I do not try and take ownership of this stuff. It's kind of just here for entertainment and for me to comment on the film as a whole. Also, trigger warning, there will be a bit of blood here and there, so if you're scared of blood, piss off. I don't know. Hi, I'm Toby, and welcome to probably the weirdest video I'm ever going to make. In this video, we're going to talk about a little film I found the other day called Edge of an Axe. This film may be the weirdest slasher film I've seen in a very long time. Not due to the concepts being weird. Like I've watched a lot of weird slasher films. I watched one called Piranha Women, which was odd. You know, you get your weird slashers like Nightmare, Texas. Honestly, most slashers are weird in concept, but this one's just weird because it's so odd. Like, I can't put my finger on it. It's just an odd film in general, and I think that's the thing that interests me so much about this film. Now, let me explain. I found this slasher film on Prime not that long ago. I was scrolling with a friend to see what films we could watch, and we saw the slasher, and we were speaking, and for some reason Prime starts playing like a trailer. So we were speaking, and I was looking at the TV, and the trailer really caught my eye at a certain point. So here, I'm going to play a bit of the trailer, and I want you to guess what part really got me into this film.
I want him captured.
Now, could you tell what got my attention? And before you say, oh, was it the incredibly weird mask he wears? Yes, kind of. That mask design and that like killer getup actually really looks pretty scary to me. So that kind of did get me like, oh shit, that looks good. But also, it wasn't that. Let me replay it so you can see what it was. That may be one of the most bold and outrageous statements I've ever fucking read. Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers are some of the best slasher villains, period. Like, yeah, Freddy's on there, maybe a bit of Ghostface, some Chucky especially, maybe even Terrifier if we're throwing in new people to the ring. But this film has better, it would rip them to pieces. This film must be peak. This film must be literally the best slasher film ever made. Is it? No. It's really not. It's a mid slasher film that honestly I'm more interested in than excited by it, because this film is weird. Before I watched it, I did a lot of research. Well, not a lot of research. I went on Letterboxd and read a few reviews, and it's nice to see that this film has kind of like a little indie genre culture thing, which I think is really cool, because I think all horror films, especially even all films, should have a little culture and a little community surrounding it. Because God forbid, if The Room can have one, then so can Edge of the Axe. Like, when I read the reviews, a lot of the reviews said that this film felt like two different films at points. And I was like, no, it probably doesn't. It is. It feels like completely two different films. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes it goes from being a slasher to being a weird romance film to being a slasher. I'm gonna go through the plot and give my opinions on stuff, and through that I'll try and convey, because it's such a weird film, and you can tell, like, when you watch it, you can see how people say, oh yeah, this is two films, but you can't really say it because it's just so subtle and different that I can't put it into words. You have to kind of watch it. I won't be really touching on that in this video. I'll mostly be talking about the twists, because I think that deserves a lot more focus. So during my plot summary, which I'm about to do, I'll be focusing more on the twists and how it affects the film as a whole. Now, my idea of what the twist could be variated a lot during the film. Like, at points I thought, okay, that's the twist. Oh no, that's not the twist. Maybe this is, nope, okay, never mind, that's not the twist. Like, that happened a lot during the film. And before I watched, I could kind of guess what the twist would be. Well, actually, I could kind of guess from the first few minutes. The film opens with, well, a murder in a car wash. It feels kind of out there, weird, but it's also not the best. Like, I'm going to say this now. The kills in this film are some of the worst kills I think I've ever seen, due to the fact that it is just someone getting hit with an axe and it doing nothing. Like, normally when you do a kill with an axe in a film, you cut away to show the damage that it did. Not in this film. They showed them just getting hit by an axe and little blood squirts, and it does nothing. Like, I'm not scared. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, damn, is this snuff? And I was like, nope, it's not snuff. They're not hurt. They're not really getting murdered. They're just kind of getting the axe hit with them. Like, it's not the best. And honestly, it's a real letdown. I'm just saying, Jason and Michael are better at their jobs than that. But anyway, let's move on. So the film starts off with a car wash kill. That's it's fine. Like, it's not the best, it's not the worst, it's kind of just a kill in a car wash. And then it cuts to our main character, Gerald. Now, Gerald is a weird character because from the first second he's on screen, you can guess that this guy is the goddamn killer, due to various reasons. He looks like the killer, due to the mask looking exactly like his goddamn face for some reason. I don't know, but I can just kind of tell. And he just acts weird, like this clip here.
Listen to this. Yesterday afternoon in Patterson, a woman was murdered, sliced to pieces as she went through the tunnel of the car wash.
How awful. Listen, I'm taking off with Richard. We'll grab a bite to eat on the way.
Yep, that's the normalest way I've ever heard someone react to a murder before. Just a deadpan stare, and that. Also, that's not the only weird thing in this film. The acting's not the best, the script's not the best, it's not the best film ever made. However, it's a B-movie horror. It's one of those B-movie slashers that they're not made by big companies, they're not made by anything else, they're independent, and they have that kind of charm to them. That's why I love B-movies. They have a charm to them. And they're not C-movies like fucking Piranha Women, where it's like the worst thing you've ever watched. Because most of the time, B-movies have some good stuff that save it from being just bad. Because this film isn't bad, this film's just kind of mid. One of my favourite scenes in this film is this, which may be the weirdest scene I think I've ever watched.
1, 2, 3, 4. Maria, Maria,
Maria, Maria,
are you a soul sweeter?
you were so sweet.
I like to play with your teeter.
Play with your teeter.
I'm so lost. This film baffles my brain, and I don't know why, but it just does. It's a true shame, because honestly, I really do enjoy this cast, especially the two main leads, the guy behind Gerald and the guy behind Lillian, is that how you say it? They're really good in this film, and honestly, I like their performances. It's a real shame that they've only been in like 2 films each, which is sad. They're good, and I hope they should have been in more. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyway, back to the point of the twist. So my original thought of the twist was, hey, this guy's going to be the killer, right? And, you might be thinking, Toby, there's not enough evidence that he's the killer. But then the film, it does this. Holy shit! It's Gerald. It's the guy. It's the main character. What's he doing there? In my head, I remember it being a lot more vivid, but no, that is literally Gerald. Like, yeah, that's Gerald. That's the guy. He's got, and the scene gets better from there. So if you don't think this guy's the killer just from that, watch this.
With you? Why don't you answer? What are you doing?
Okay, if that doesn't convince you, then I don't know what will. Because he's literally, that is Gerald, we can all agree, that is the main character, and he is holding an axe. So, as we see here, we see the main character, Gerald, a man in a trench coat with an axe, holding an axe, ready to kill this girl. He wears a trench coat, we can see him. I'm sorry I'm getting a bit mad at it, but we're all gonna take this in here. We see Gerald with the axe and the trench coat. We all see him. Right? Right? Good. Remember that. Remember that we see him with an axe and the mask here. We see a man who looks exactly like Gerald with the axe here. Remember that. Now. Okay, anyway, let's move on. So, this is a bit later in the film actually, but yeah, that's Gerald with an axe. So the twist is, oh, he's the killer. But wait, we know he's the killer? And it doesn't help that this happens and he looks even more like the goddamn killer.
Gerald, are you home? No access. Gerald Martin's file. Crimes. Myrna Dobson, 31 years old, dead in the car wash, City of Patterson. Mary West, 25 years old, City of Patterson, on the way to Paddock. Rita Miller, 29 years old, dead under the railroad bridge at Paddock Station.
So, for a bit of context here, Gerald meets her, they have a little spat over video games, and they like each other, so they get together. And then Gerald gives her a computer that he had lying around, and he gives her the computer, so now they can message each other. It's kind of weird, especially for 1988. It's very ahead of its time. But, so yeah, they use the computer to message each other, and what's happening in the scene is she's trying to message Gerald, who isn't home. And then it shows his crimes. What? Huh? Huh? Am I going insane? The twist is that he's the killer, but you keep implying that he's the killer, which rebukes evidence shown later in the film. That makes me go even more insane, but we'll get to that in a bit. Now, anyway, the character that you've seen there is Lillian, the girl, and she introduces some big lore that kind of warps the twist of the film in a way. She introduces her lore that when she was a child, she had a cousin called Charlie, and one day, while pushing Charlie on a swing, she pushed him so hard that he fell off the swing and fractured his skull. Huh? Here's a clip.
Try.
Something that happened years ago when I was playing with Charlie.
Who's Charlie?
He's my cousin. He used to come over all the time. We were about 10. And one day we were playing in the yard and Charlie got onto the swing.
Right. So Charlie gets on the swing. Then what?
And I started to push him. And he yelled at me telling me to stop, but I didn't. I just kept pushing him harder and harder.
You know, I can just see your cousin flying through the air.
Yeah.
What kind of non-killer, non-psychopath, normal person reaction is that? To someone telling a story about how they fractured someone's skull and possibly killed them. Huh? Like, this guy baffles me. It just baffles me, man. Anywho, so that's the story of Charlie. Now, thanks to some incredible acting, it is implied that maybe our good friend Gerald is Charlie. Take a look here and form your own opinion.
I was looking for some information on Charlie because I asked my father about him again today.
What did he say?
He said that he died, but I know it's not true. Charlie is alive, and I've got a feeling that a lot of what's going on around here has to do with him.
Why do you say that?
Well, for one reason, almost all the women who had been killed, they had worked in a psychiatric ward. Don't you find that odd?
It stopped raining. I better take you home.
If I'm not mistaken, is that the film implying that, what's her name, Lillian, her boyfriend of a few days to maybe even a week at this point, is her cousin who may have died? What is, huh? What is this film? This film is just weird, and I love it for that. This film is so weird and so random, and I love it so much because it's so goddamn weird. And honestly, check this film out, please. I'm actually urging you to check this weird film out because it's falling into the it's so mid it's good category because it's not it's not bad. It's not bad. The acting's everything's kind of just but it has so much passion seeming through that you can kind of enjoy it. And that's why I like this film so much, and that's why I'm doing a video on it. But this film is implying that he is Charlie, who is the killer, and we know he is the killer due to the fact we've seen him. However, the final scene in this film decides to flip a table so hard, I'm praying that everything flips with it, in a way that I don't think I can truly understand. Here is the final scene, and I don't even know what to say.
Charlie, is that you?
I'm not Charlie. Charlie doesn't exist. You invented him. You're Charlie.
What? No! God, no! I'm not Charlie, no!
Lillian Nebbs was admitted to the psychiatric ward at the age of 8. She fell from the swing and suffered psychoamnesia.
Please let go of me!
No, look! You gotta know everything!
No!
Look! Sarah Elliott, psychiatrist. You killed her because she was the one that committed you to the mental hospital.
What?
Myrna Dobson, traumatologist. She was your doctor in Cavendish. Marie West, waitress. Catherine Trevor, nurse. She was a nurse assigned to you. Maureen Adams, encephalogram specialist. Rita Miller, hairdresser. You killed this one because she slept with your father.
No, I didn't kill her!
This may be the weirdest twist of all time. Like, I don't know what the hell is happening, but this film has flipped a table and it's hoping that it sticks everything back on top perfectly fine. It doesn't. I'm confused. Probably everyone else watching is really confused, because we have seen that the person killing is a man with gloves like the ones that he's wearing in the scene. Like, I don't know, this film confuses me. Is she the killer? Is she not? Is he chatting a bunch of shit? Maybe it is his computer. It must be. That's what it must be. You see, now we've solved it. Let's just finish the film and, you know, let's go to conclusions.
Be alright. The nightmare's over. There'll be no more murders in this town.
Huh? What? Huh? 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 What? I'm so confused. I'm losing it. So you're telling me that this entire film, if I'm interpreting this right, she was the killer? No. No, she wasn't. He was. There's proof. My conspiracy board is hung. He was the killer. We knew this from the beginning. He was Charlie. Or was he not Charlie? Or was Charlie... Whoa. Huh? I am so confused. This film is an 80s horror with the weirdest ending I think I've seen in a very long goddamn time. What the actual fuck is this film? That twist recontextualizes the entire film into something I don't truly understand. But just because I don't like the ending, I think that ending is weird as hell and confusing and completely fucks up everything, doesn't mean I don't like this film. I want to keep pressing this, that this is a film I really enjoy and I really want people to check out, because it's a fun indie B-horror slasher that is weird and confusing. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's get to my conclusion and finish this goddamn video. In conclusions, Edge of the Axe is an 80s film. It's a slasher, it's nothing more than that. It's a weird slasher with the weirdest twist of all time, and honestly, I'm happy with that. I honestly do urge that people go out and watch this film, because I really think that it deserves more look and appreciation. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you soon. Subscribe!
1, 2, 3, 4. Maria, Maria. Maria, Maria. Oh, you were so sweet. Oh, you were so sweet. I like to play with your Tita. Play with your Tita.